What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we're going to go over the brand new deck of fate that just got launched in game. It's going to feature some of the exclusive relic pieces as well as some Titan points. So let's jump into it and break it down. All right, so first things first, the Lunar Deck of Fate, that's what they're going to call it. It's going to be a 4-day event. What does it involve? It involves upgrading champions and summoning souls from soul stones. So if you guys didn't know, each one of these cards, you have to accumulate points. You flip the card, you get the resources behind the card. Let's see what resources is up for grabs here. So we do have the Regal Mask, rare, epic, and legendary. So we got, there's quite a bit here, to be honest. But the 100 pieces here is basically, you get a 50% chance, a coin flip on the correct set, and then you get a 40% chance at getting the Cat's Gaze, which is the main prize for the relics. You get a legendary book, a 6-star Chaos Ore here, a Promise Shard, which is pretty good, and a Void Shard, which is pretty good as well. No 6-star Speed Glyph. They kind of got us there. 300 energy and only 100 Titan points. That's a little bit of a surprise. I would say that is slightly bad. I would say this is slightly bad because this particular deck of fate is actually training only, not shard only. So in more likelihood, a person would probably be able to complete this deck of fate as opposed to being shard strapped and not being able to complete it. So for Plarium to not give you the higher amount of Titan points, it feels like they're taking away a bit of value there for sure. It also means that the summon rush here at the next weekend is actually part of the first week's point totals. So in the first week's point totals, it actually includes a champion chase, which we just finished, and a summon rush in the total 900 points available in the first week. A little bit interesting. So that means potentially in the week afterwards, they could jam 2 summoning events there as well, which is kind of scary. We can all but expect maybe a hero's path next week. Yeah, that's going to be potentially shard related as well. There could be a hero's path with shards and then followed by a standard champion chase or summon rush at the end of the next weekend as well. Most likely champion chase. We'll probably get a more clear picture of the next week's events coming soon, actually. So stay tuned for all that. So let's quickly jump back into the deck of fate here. So as you guys may know or may not know, if you pull 3 cards in a row of the same color, you get additional goodies here. These look pretty in line. There's been opportunities to get like sacred shards and big rocks and stuff. But in this one, we're getting, this is like half, the equivalent of half a big rock. And then we don't have the sacred shard here. We get a promise shard and a mythical book, which is decent, better than like a chicken or a ham. So at least there's that. In terms of what we need to do, we need to train and soul stones. So here we can see the total point allocation for us. We can compare this against the previous deck of fates. This exact deck of fate breakdown has come up several times. I'll show you guys a breakdown that I did previously. All right, so here we go. The closest comparable we had was actually the Freya deck of fate, which actually happened not too recently, about 3 months ago, but I guess that's pretty recent. But you can kind of see here that the breakdown for this was actually very, very horrendous. We all kind of know that the Freya deck of fate was pretty much as bad as it got in terms of the point allocation. It was a grueling point breakdown. They did not give us a lot of points for the rank ups or the soul stones to pull. So you can see here, small ones were only worth 60. They're covered here by my head, but they're only worth 60 points. The immortals were worth 600 points, and the big ones were only worth 3,000 points. Same situation with the food. It was incredibly skimpy in terms of overall points. It was definitely a grueling grind here. We can compare it against some previous deck of fates and some previous breakdowns. So you notice here just 200 for the rank 6 and 300 for the big stone. This one was from March of last year. They gave us 300 for the 6-star. And then this one was September of 2023, and they gave us 385. And then 365. And then this one all the way back in January. So about 2 years ago, sorry, they gave us 530 points for the 6-star rank. just something to compare to. You can also see here the Eternal Soulstone was worth 5,000 points back in August of 2023. So obviously, things have been getting harder and harder to complete, but it's not as bad as the Freya Deck of Fate, which was maybe an outlier, but this was significantly worse. If you compare the 200 points for the 6-star ranked and the 3,000 for the Soulstone versus what we're facing right now, which is 350 and then 4,500, this Deck of Fate is much more tame. Keep in mind that Freya as a champion, you can kind of compare it to the rewards, right? Is Freya the champion better than, gamble here, gamble here, gamble there kind of thing? It's up to you, right? But like, I remember Freya was pretty hyped up, and it makes sense that Plarium would basically try to extract as much resources from us from that Deck of Fate. For this one in particular, it feels like it could be a skip depending where you guys want to land in terms of skipping the Titan points. Obviously the mass are very high values, and if you're a late game or end game account, these mass, if you can hit the Cat's Gaze, is a massive boost. I would say even as a early game player or a mid game player, if you can get your hands on the Cat's Gaze reasonably, it's a pretty big boost to your account because you can basically just cycle through that relic forever on your different champions. I mean, it's basically equivalent to a 4-piece instinct set, right? Once you max it out, it's just going to take time to max it out, but eventually you will max it out. And that's just going to be a massive boost on any damage dealer that you're currently using. There is going to be a boost for the Mortal Soulstone and the Immortal Soulstone. So you will be able to pull those, with the boosted rates here. As you can clearly see, you get double rates on the Immortals and then double rates on the Immortals. So you can kind of pull without feeling too bad about it. That's probably what I'm going to do in terms of what I'm going to pull. I will do some training, and I'm probably going to have to finish off the deck just because my account has the resources to do so, and because it's the end game account, these are some of the only things that can kind of push it forward. Other ways to accumulate these lantern points is to use gems. Obviously, the largest pack of lanterns is going to give you a small discount over the smallest ones. Okay guys, for a more thorough breakdown, we're going to use Saf's Deck of Fate calculator here from HH Gaming. So appreciate having these resources available to everybody. So we just inputted the new point breakdown and requirements, and what we're seeing is about 14,000 to 16,000 total energy done on Brutal 12.3. Saf's model here does require a little bit of partial leveling, so you can do that with Bruise or with Energy. And I assume if you use Bruise, you're just going to save a bunch of energy here. So you can roughly say it's about 15,000 energy if you have no Bruise, for example. So we can use that number and then work with how valuable this lantern pack is. All right, so 1,100 gems, and then divide by 40, which is the cost of each energy pot, 27.5 energy pots times 130 energy per pot, 35.75 for total energy from this 1,100 gem spend. So if you factor in how much you actually need, let's say you need 15,000. So let's go 3575 divided by 15,000. The total energy you can get from 1,100 gems gives you about 24% of the total energy that you need for the entire thing. So it's about one quarter of the total energy to finish the entire deck is right here, 1,100 gems. But instead, you're buying 3,000 of these lanterns. So 3,000 lanterns out of the total 40,000 necessary. You're only getting 7.5% of the total deck from this. So the gem spend on this is very, very inefficient. Obviously, it's very efficient for time, but you're only getting, a third of your actual value in terms of overall points. Obviously, you're not spending any food or anything like that, or any additional resources or time. So this is, obviously has some benefit, but the conversion rate is just really, really low. So definitely keep that in mind when you feel like spending gems. It's a touch worse than masteries, buying masteries. I'm just kidding. It's actually way worse than buying masteries as a relatable example. But yeah, so I would definitely stay away from this if you can. Just to check the paid pack so far nothing. I'm sure they're gonna put up some kind of lantern packs pretty soon here. So currently I got nothing. And yeah, so it's gonna be a training thing. You're not gonna get too much value from the small guys. Like if you're pulling 100 of the small ones, you're only gonna get 900 points back. So yeah, they're only worth 90 each. If you're pulling 100 of them, you're only going to get 9,000 points, which is less than 1/4 of the total deck. And then most people probably don't have 100 of the small guys. Like I don't even have 100 of them. The medium guys, I mean, they're worth 900 each. They're not going to be, you're not going to have too many of them, of course. So it's going to be mostly training, right? You're going to be probably doing 3/4 of it with training, and that's probably going to take you over 10,000 energy. So make sure you guys can budget that 10,000 energy accordingly. 4 days worth of energy, you're going to be digging into your energy stash quite a bit. Even on the best days, you're looking at about 1,000 energy per day. If you're spending all of that on training, is going to be tough as well because you guys spend energy on other things. So you have to come up with, 11,000 energy somewhere. That's quite a bit, right? Quick math on 11,000 energy, it's about 3,400 gems. I mean, yeah, it's doable. But if you can skip it, then it's skippable. It's 100 Titan points. Obviously, these goodies are more end game related, maybe, or people in the end game will be more interested in them. But everyone should be interested in trying to get the cat's gaze if possible. But we do have a guaranteed cat's gaze for the Tea Party Titan event. So make sure you guys at least keep your eyes on the prize. The eyes on the prize, right? The prize is this for a lot of people. The prize is this. So keep your eyes on the prize, all right? Make sure you guys are focused on what you guys need to do and what you guys are spending your resources towards. All right, guys? Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys found it informative. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything. And let me know what you guys are planning to do for this Lunar Deck of Fate. Keep in mind there will be a Dungeon Diver alongside the Lunar Deck of Fate. So you can double dip a little bit for your campaign farming and all that. Get some points for your Dungeon Divers there as well, for Titan points as well. A little bit disappointing that I didn't see Artifact Enhancement. I was really expecting Artifact Enhancement to be part of the Lunar Deck of Fate. It would have made things a little bit easier. Yeah, I mean, it would have made things a little bit easier. Like, to be honest, having three ways to get it, like, especially now since Eternal Soulstones, you get a double chance now, double chance events. People just want to hold on to these guys now. Anyways, that's gonna be it for the video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.